ScaryDAve with the Church of Dave, and let me tell you something about spit. Humans have some interesting customs, and they don't always make sense. Sometimes we have customs that sort of seem like they oppose each other, you know? And one of the things that I've noticed has some opposing customs is spit. Such as, when I was little, the first thing that I ever learned about spit was it was the obvious source of cooties. What's the very worst kind of cooties? Exactly. Girl cooties. We do just about anything to keep our distance from anything even resembling girl cooties or girl spit. And if in a movie the lips of a male and female were to actually touch, it was, oh, cooties. Couldn't even handle the idea of such a thing. And then all the grown-ups would say, oh, that'll change as you get older. The idea that someday you'd like girl cooties. Ugh. Till you had a couple of years go by and got hit by some puberty, and then all of a sudden, what's the most important thing in your life? Getting to swap some spit with the opposite sex. Well, sometimes. Yeah, childhood peer pressure taught us, for the most part, fear the cootie. But then at the same time, when you made best friends with someone, when you made a pact, when you swore on something, you spit in your hand and you shook on it. From cooties to honor. Spit honor. What's that all about? Yeah, the societies of Earth have some pretty interesting and confusing rules when it comes to the etiquette of spit. Take, for instance, the opposing forces between love and hate. One of the things that you do when you really hate someone, if you have no class at all, is you spit on them. Sometimes, if you have slightly more class, you just talk about it. You ignorant sack of donkey poo, I spit upon you, poo! Sometimes, if you really hate someone, you spit on the grave of their dead relatives. I spit upon the graves of your most beloved dead relatives. Pooh! Yeah, if you were to research the topic and come up with all the different ways you can insult someone with spit, you'd figure that we would probably, by now, be a rather spitless society. But oh no. Just to make it a little more confusing, we make spit one of the most highly sought-after substances on the planet. Don't get this rule set wrong or you'll come out looking like a total schmuck. On the one hand, spit is the one thing that you want to really deliver to your true enemies. And then on the other hand, what's the first thing you want to do when you fall in love with somebody? You want to go give them some spit. When you hate someone, it's vile and disgusting. When you love someone, use words like luscious and juicy. Hate someone and you use your spit to try to keep them at a distance. You throw it at them, give them notice, stay the fuck away. But then if you love someone, or you just maybe want to bump uglies with them, you be all licking your lips and stuff, sort of like an advertisement, especially if you're a girl. Then there's the difference between strange spit and familiar spit. You know, strange spit, you can't hardly wipe that off the spoon good enough. You can't quite get that wiped off the top of the bottle well enough. But then familiar spit is a whole different thing. Take babies, for instance. Slobbery little messy little creatures. And look how many people think it's just so cute and adorable when that thing comes up and drools all over you, gives you a big sloppy wet kiss. Used bottle top bad, drool factory trying to kiss you good. Oh, and fear the backwash. Yeah, it's definitely starting to look like, if you'll excuse the pun, spit is in the eye of the beholder. Some countries, cities, they got rules. You're not allowed to part with your spit. The last thing they want is for you to allow that stuff to hit the ground. Fear of spit. They call it disease control. But then everybody's touching the same door handles. You know, if you lick your hand, slick back your hair a little, like some of us used to do, and then you walk up and you open the door to a public building, no one even notices. No one cares. No one gives a shit. But if you walk up to that same building and you spit on it, right on the door handle, nice and wet, and people see you do it, they won't go in the building. The etiquette behind spit, or as I like to call it, spitiquette, can get pretty confusing at times. And let me tell you, a display of poor spitiquette can really make you look bad. So, in order to keep you from looking like a complete maroon, I'm going to break it all down for you right now. Although the customs of spit can get pretty confusing, the rules that those customs are based upon are actually pretty simple. Now, the main difference between sexy, luscious, romantic spit and degrading, disgusting, hateful spit is air. Yeah, air. It might sound kind of strange, but when you think about it, it all makes sense. You see, if the spit is still in her mouth, you don't mind getting a hold of some of it. But if she sends it to you via airmail, oh, you don't want that now, do you? From the time it leaves her lips to the time it hits you, it somehow gets tainted. And what's the one thing it's traveling through? Right, air. Air has the power to taint spit. And there you sit, just breathing it. The air rule has its own inconsistency, though, dealing with the inverse relativity of exposure time. What this means is that when the spit first hits the air, it's incredibly vile and hateful. But as it is increasingly exposed to more air, it just becomes disgusting, rude, and sort of comical. For instance, if a person just walks up to you and says, "Hey, fuck you," pooh, in your face, that's a pretty vile, fucked up, hate-filled act. On the other hand, if a person 147 floors above you lobs one off the observation deck, that's just kind of prankish, humorous, stupid, rude, and gross. After much research, I've decided that the complication of spit to air hatred ratio really boils down to one thing, and that is fucking laziness. For instance, if you walk up to the girl of your dreams and just spit in her face and smile, she probably ain't gonna take it too well. But of course, if you walk right on over there and you wrap your arms around her and you give her that "I love you, baby" look in the eye that leads up to the big fancy movie kiss, and you deliver that spit right into her mouth with your tongue, oh, she falls in love with you. Romance, children, lovely. Why is this? I'll tell you why. It's because the recipient is a lazy fuck. No, you can't send it to them through the air. Oh no, that would be disgusting and fucked up. No, they want you to deliver it, lazy bastards. Spit is very chivalrous. It's like opening the door for a lady or holding her chair for her, standing up when she leaves the table. You know, spit is all about being polite. You don't want to fuck up your Emily Post bullshit when it comes to spit. Because, man, they'll understand you don't open the door for someone, but you walk up and spit in her face, and the room is going to freak out. Of course, the next idea that comes to my mind is the evolution of society. You know, it used to be you couldn't even look at a woman's ankles without getting horsewhipped, and now they're all running around in thongs. Kind of makes me wonder if spitiquette is going to evolve in the same fashion. You know, if you're a forward-thinking kind of progressive couple, a little ahead of the times, and you're at the market, and your wife comes up, "Oh, look, I found your favorite mango," and you're like, "Oh, baby, I'm so happy." In her face, the people around you are going to get a little strange. What the hell are they going to think of you two just because you are not afraid of air-tainted spit? Yeah, you never know. 100 years from now, the best pickup line at the bar might be just to walk up to her and spit in her face. Now, at this point, it's probably worth mentioning the grades of spit. That's right, spit grading. I'm really only talking about saliva spit at this point. The whole phlegm spit thing is a whole nother disgusting area I don't even want to go into. And there's those people that got that little white pasty shit in the corner of their mouth. You know, it's even worse when it's someone you got to pay attention to, like a judge or a teacher or something. What is it with these people and their little portable dairy farm paste factories with the little stringy things, and they keep talking and you don't know what the hell they're saying because you can't get your mind off of that horrible nasty mess in the corners of their mouths. And no matter how many times you do this, you know, you wipe in your own mouth, they never get the hint. They just look at you like you got some kind of a nervous tick. I'm not really talking about that kind of spit, because I tell you, that particular one right there, that's just fucking sick. Yeah, spit is a crazy, wonderful, mysterious, fucked up, disgusting, lovable, sexy, luscious thing. There's only one really true constant when it comes to spit, and that is, spit happens.